Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the DTM 2020 class for RaceRoom Racing Experience. We're going to take the cars on track and test them out, see how they drive, and as you can see from the picture on the screen here, there's going to be a little challenge at the end as well, so stay tuned for that, it's going to be fun. So let's jump into the game and see how they drive. Okay, so here we are in pit lane. We're at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit for this particular test, and we've chosen the Audi RS5 as the first car we're going to jump into and see how it drives. A little bit about the Class 1 regulations which these DTM cars run to. They're running an inline 4 turbocharged engine, around 580 to 600 brake horsepower. They also have no traction control and no ABS, so this could be a fun ride. So the car's heavily aero packaged, so there's a big wing, lots of aero all over the car, so there should be plenty of high cornering speeds to get used to as well. So let's jump into the car now and see how it drives on track. Just got to be careful with the throttle application because it is very easy to spin up the back wheels, and I know these tyres will take a little bit of warming up, so we're not going to push too much on our outlap here, just to allow the tyres a chance to get up to speed and up to temperature. So, first thing we can tell straight away is what these cars sound like, and for an inline 4 they sound pretty good to me, and they also sound very much like the DTM cars sound in real life as well, so we know RaceRoom do a great job of doing the sounds on all of their cars, so that's pretty much a given that this car is going to sound on point, which it does. What I also love is the transmission modelling which they've thrown into RaceRoom, which simulates proper transmission gearbox flutter as well, so you'll hear when I go up through the gears sometimes there'll be a little bit of a flutter. Not there, but you'll hear it eventually. I'm not going to take that too quickly just yet because the tyres still aren't there. But yeah, sounds are a big tick for us so far. Oops, a bit quick into there, but we managed to get away with it. And there's the rear end trying to come around on us as well. So you'll see in the bottom right corner there we have two green bits of information. We have a DRS and P2P, which is push to pass. So we have a drag reduction system which helps with creating more straight line speed and overtaking as well, just like they have in Formula 1. But rather than creating a hole in the rear wing like the DRS system on an F1 car does, on DTM the whole wing just flattens out. So it just reduces a bit of drag and downforce for better straight line speed. But we're going to stay away from that while we get up to speed with the car. Down to turn 1, heavy braking zone, track drops away. Got to be careful with the throttle on the way out of there. Long turn 2, ease back into the throttle. Again, not pushing too hard at the moment, just trying to feel our way around. Got to keep the car to the left out of there. Fighting a bit of oversteer out of there. Fast downhill lefts through here. This corner is deceptively quick, really. Down towards the hairpin once again. Braking just before the curb starts on the left, locking a brake. So what else can we tell about the car so far now that things are starting to heat up a little bit? The force feedback is pretty good, just going over those curbs there gives you a good indication of how the car's behaving underneath you. You also get to have a good indication of what the car's doing underneath you as well, so when the car starts to break away and snap into oversteer, you definitely get a good indication that's about to happen, so helps with controlling the car. And with no traction control, you certainly need it in one of these things. Oops, that's a bit late. It's the last corner. Keep it in tight. Okay, so we can push on a little bit more and see what these cars are capable of. I can only imagine what these things are like to drive in real life with big slick Hankook tyres on them, loads of power, no traction control. It could be quite a handful on track. You've got to be super smooth with all your inputs. short shift through there just to keep the rear end in check if I can. Now it's worth mentioning at this point that I have had a bit of a play with the setup, because out of the box these cars are very, very oversteering, even once the tyres have warmed up. So I've had a bit of a play around with the setup, so I've adjusted the anti-roll bars and also taken a bit of preload out of the diff, just to try and help with controlling the oversteer. Just hang on through this fast chicane. But with the aero, it certainly helps you through. Through there. Wide on the exit there. That's Grosjean's corner with his gravel. You saw the Eiffel GP. That's where he was complaining of being hit in the finger with a piece of gravel. No such problems for us today with our windscreen in front of us. Okay, definitely feel a lot more grip coming in on the car now. There we go, we're improving our lap time all the time. In second gear out of here just to try and control the oversteer, just like that. Even in second gear you can still light it up. Okay, so there's proof, if proof were needed, that these cars can certainly still bite, even when things have warmed up. So I just need to be a little bit more careful on the throttle. I'm not going to claim to be the fastest driver in these things. I know the esports championship ran a race around here just recently, and there were some ridiculously quick lap times being laid down. Granted, they were using the version with the tight chicane. I'm using the fast chicane just purely because I can't stand the other version. So many different lines you can take through this hairpin. Slight lift just to make sure we don't run off onto the curb on the exit there. Oh dear me, almost got away from me. And we're onto the gravel. Well, these cars are certainly a challenge to drive. They take quite a lot of patience to drive. It's not just a case of turning it in and mashing the throttle. Because although they have lots of aero, that power really does just take over. You've got to have a good amount of throttle control with your right foot just to make sure the car stays in check. No, he doesn't like going down to first gear too quickly. It's my fault. That's the other thing I found with them, is that you have to go down the gears quickly but not too fast, otherwise it does unsettle the car. Okay, so we kind of have a bit more of a handle on what the cars like to drive now. Let's use a bit of DRS, shall we? Out of here, let's engage that now. A little hydraulic noise to say you've activated it. The rear wing's moved. Just like you hear in Formula 1, as soon as you smash the brake pedal, the rear wing goes back to normal, DRS is deactivated. Don't think I'll try it through there. I don't think we'll have enough grip to take that flat with DRS. But we can try that later on, just for fun. Now, you get limited uses of DRS in a racing situation in DTM, so you've got to be careful when you choose to use it. But I believe over a qualifying lap you can use it as often as you need, so I'll just keep smashing that button and see what happens. Of course, when you are using DRS, you've got to take into account that you are going to be approaching the braking points a lot quicker. So you've got to adjust your braking point accordingly just so you don't run on. Just got to keep remembering to push the button. It's a little bit of boost as well. Still fighting through there. Just popping and banging on the overrun. So, although it has no ABS, you really can smash the brakes quite hard initially and then just trail them off. So, like you would in a downforce prototype, for example, you'd hit the brakes really hard to start off with and then just gradually feed them off as you get closer into the corner. I'm trailing them a little bit just to help with the rotation of the car into the corner. Go for DRS. It's not right now. Now, can you turn it off by manually? Yes, you can. So you can push the button to deactivate it if you wanted to. So technically, out of the hairpin, I could activate DRS and then turn it off just before I get towards the Schumacher S, so I don't lose grip and have a big, scary moment. Well, you see, even though it's been a fairly scruffy lap, already 8/10 up on our best. So you get to use push to pass once a lap, so best place to use that would probably be, I'd say, out of the hairpin. Careful out of there because I felt the back end coming round as it was rotating into the corner, so I thought best to take it a bit easy out of there. Okay, DRS open. You can tell the difference in top speed, just how quickly it picks up. The reason we probably use push to pass out of the hairpin is because you're coming out of a slow corner, you're going uphill and it's got quite a long, fast section. So let's use that now, both DRS and that. So we'll turn DRS off before we come through here. Oh, it's so busy, we've got so much to think about. DRS back open again. Maximize the run onto this straight here. DRS open. Quicker again. That's the second quicker on our lap time. Except mess the chicane up. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a pretty full-on driving experience. When you use everything all at once, it's quite busy in the cockpit, so you've got to be always thinking and always realising what you're doing with your right foot, because it's very easy to just lose track of where you are and just apply a little bit too much throttle, and then that's it, you're round. These cars are really fun to drive, actually. It's a little bit of that transmission flutter I mentioned earlier. Sounds so cool. I'm not going to use it push pass out of here. I'm going to use it on the next big straight. That was a combination of me opening DRS and using too much curb. Sitting in a cloud of my own tyre smoke. Ah, these things are a handful, but fun. Okay, let's see. These cars are really, really high tech. There's lots of electronics on board and lots of high power performance going on. But how do they compare to, say, DTM cars from the 90s? I think what we should do is a handicap challenge to see just how quick these modern DTM cars are. Okay, so here we have on track the wonderful BMW E30 M3 from 1992. Again, it's got a 4-cylinder inline engine, just like the modern ones. No turbocharger though. It just sounds so good. I love the M3. But obviously there's limits in terms of its performance compared to the modern DTM car. So let's put the equivalent, the BMW M4 2020 version, up against the M3 and just see how quick it is and how much of a head start we need to give it before we catch it up at the end of the lap. So we'll let Emanuele Pirro in the BMW do his fast lap, and then we'll work out what kind of time we need to give as a head start. Okay, so in practice the M3, the 92 car, that one there, was running 2 minutes and 5 second laps. And I was doing a quick test run, and I was doing a 1:50, so we're about 15 seconds. So we're going to give the M3 a 15-second head start and see if I can catch him up. So this is a warm-up lap now, because I don't fancy doing this on cold tyres. So we get past the BMW, so we can get a bit of a head start and line up before he arrives. So let's get some heat into the tyres. Give this BMW M4 DTM car best possible chance of getting the right lap time. So 15 seconds, so what we're going to do is I'm going to sit on the line, wait for the M3 to come past, and then start my 15-second timer. Once that is finished, I'm going to set off on a standing start, which I did actually time a standing start lap. So I'm going to set off and see if we can catch him up before the end of the lap. Should be an interesting little test. I am going to be using DRS and push to pass as well, so we'll have to make sure we use that in the right places, as well as getting heat into the tyres and not running off like that. It's a warm thing here. Okay, going around the last corner, let's go park ourselves over on the right hand side and well out of the way. Line up just in front of the line here. Here we go, get my timer ready, get ready for the M3, here he comes. There we go. Actually slow down a bit, so I give him a bit of a head start there as well. So 10 seconds left on the timer. He's already going to be down through the first corner, so it's going to be quite a gap to make up. Let's see if we can do it. 3, 2, 1, and away we go. DRS straight away. The benefits of the low drag. Second gear. Don't spin. ID through here. DRS open again. Half the brakes, down a couple of gears. Down one more. If anything, the BMW actually feels a little bit easier to handle than the Audi. Sounds a little bit different to the Audi as well. DRS back on again. we go, not going to make a repeat, just had a bit of a wobble then. Going to use push to pass out of here as well, get the benefit down the big straight. There's the BMW. Come on. We're going to make a fair amount of time to this last chicane as well, hopefully, because this is where the aero will really kick in. We're almost on him. Last corner. Can we get him before the line? That's going to be close. Got him. Well, that couldn't have been much closer. Well, let the M3 get away there. So, what do we reckon to these DTM 2020 cars? Well, they are a challenge to drive, but very good for teaching you throttle control. They're very busy behind the wheel. You've got the different electronics to contend with, as well as managing throughout a race how many times you use it and where you use it. So that's quite tactical if you're looking to race these cars. It's got a good bit of thinking involved in driving them. It's not just a case of simply smashing in qualifying lap after qualifying lap. Physics-wise, the cars feel fantastic to drive. The force feedback communicates very nicely what the car's doing underneath you. The sounds are excellent, as you'd expect from RaceRoom. If anything, I'd probably prefer the BMWs to the Audi, but really there's not a great deal of difference in them. They're both fairly evenly matched. Let's blast past the M3 here. But yeah, we think these cars are great. Well worth adding to your RaceRoom repertoire. But if you had a go with them, have you tried them out? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below as well. We'd love to hear your ideas of what these cars are like and your experiences of driving them. Have you had as many spins as I have trying to learn how to drive them quickly? Have you gone off track as much as I have like that? But if you enjoy this video, please do consider hitting the like button below. And if you want to see more content from us coming up very soon, also consider subscribing to the channel. It's free to do, and that way you won't miss out on any new videos which we post on our channel. But there we are, that's our review of the DTM 2020 cars. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.